At one point, I wrote a blog post and I got like $3 million in client requests in 14 days. It was insane. Like things just rocketed up like crazy. My name is Daniel Daines-Hutt. I am an entrepreneur. I teach content marketing at Amp My Content, and I'm also the head of content at Zero to Mastery, which is a software training company in Toronto. So I'm from England originally, but I'm a New Zealand resident now. I had difficulties trying to get visas and things like that, which is how I actually got into entrepreneurship, because I saw that I could get an entrepreneurship visa. So I used to work at a surf shop in town, and I set up a clothing company. Within 5 weeks, I think I was in 5 retail stores, and it did really well. I ended up selling the clothing company and going into marketing because people kept asking me how I managed to get this success super fast. I went into that, I had an agency, and then I started positioning into actually teaching, because there's only so many clients that you can take on without having so many staff members. And it was more scalable to start to teach people how to do it as well. So I got into that. I started content marketing training. That did really, really well. We have over 100 hours of videos online teaching that. And then COVID came around, which obviously everyone had difficulties with. We lost about 70% of customers overnight. We went from so many $1,000s to about $400 in a day, basically. So I started doing agency work again, and then I got hired as the head of content for the software company, which is what I'm doing now, as well as still growing my business on the side. So one of the ways that we got into so many retail stores so fast, because we're in 5 stores in 5 weeks, is we did a really cool thing with Facebook ads where you could target people who lived in a certain area. As a small business, you don't really have a lot of power to get into these different stores because they have so many brands that they want to stock. And so instead of me going to them, I wanted them to come to me. So I ran adverts to targeting specific stores, their physical location. And I would target people who are in like a 3 to 5 kilometer radius of that, advertising our t-shirts and telling them to go into their local store, you know, and purchase. Obviously they didn't stock it at the time, so these people would go in and they would keep asking for this brand. And so the store owners would say, well, hang on a minute, what's this company, what's this brand? And then they eventually found us and came to us instead. So instead of me trying to go there and get not a great deal or something like that, or just get a few t-shirts, they ended up coming to us. I mean, I think the one summer we sold 300-400 of the one design alone because of the advertising and things that we were doing locally in that area. From this is how I realized that I might be good at marketing, like having these ideas and things like that, and how it eventually evolved away from the clothing company where I was shipping things all the time to just being able to do marketing and sit at home and things like that, you know? Entrepreneurship for me, I think it means problem solving and freedom, I guess. I really wasn't that interested in entrepreneurship. I just did it for the visa. But then when I sold the first t-shirt online, it's like a light bulb kind of went off, or you know, a button clicked. I didn't even have the designs printed yet. I literally just mocked something up and put it on Facebook. I had 10 sales. I mean, I had to go figure out how to get them printed and shipped and things like that. And then you kind of get hooked and you're doing it from then on. But ever since, it's given me this outlook of being able to realize that you can always figure things out. The problems that you think you're going to have are never the ones that actually occur. And then just adapting and evolving all the time. Benefits are, you know, like I live near the beach. I rent a house near the beach. I can work at any time. Sometimes being an entrepreneur means that you work all the time, but you know, it's a fantastic thing to get into. You know, you're responsible for your own future and things like that. and it means that it can scale to whatever you want it to be. So at one point, I don't think many people know this unless you've worked in retail, but say if you're ordering stock, you will normally say, oh, okay, I like that t-shirt, and it'll come in a size break. It'll be like 2 medium, 2 small, 4 medium, 2 large. And most retail stores will only get that, so they only get like 8 t-shirts at a time. At one point, I was dropping off 30 or 40 t-shirts a week, you know, not just a season or, you know, a year. We sold like 300-400 in one summer, if not more. Things were going crazy. We were working with a local print store just down the road, so I would call them up and they would knock out t-shirts that I needed, so it was almost print on demand at one point to fulfill. I quit my job because I was working in the surf shop still for the visa. Marketed all these t-shirts online. That started to go really, really well. And it got to the point where, you know, I was flying to Australia for 2 hours just to train people's team and meet them in person and things like that. And I was writing blog posts about what we were doing, and that was taking off like crazy. And so I stopped doing the t-shirt business because at one point I wrote a blog post and I got like $3 million in client requests in 14 days. It was insane. Like, things just rocketed up like crazy. Entrepreneurship has been a hell of a journey. I still really enjoy it. It's difficult at times, but you know, I highly recommend it to anyone who wants to take control of what they're doing, you know, their life, things like that.